Here's your Forbes Daily Briefing for Thursday, January 11th. Today on Forbes, ex-Google CEO Eric Schmidt is working on a secret military drone project. Ex-Google CEO Eric Schmidt has been quietly plotting a new defense tech effort, a stealth military drone project. This according to 4 sources with knowledge of the effort. The project's existence has not been previously reported, and it has yet to publicly launch. The clandestine project intends to provide an American alternative to Chinese drones and will develop unmanned aircraft systems specifically to be used on the battlefield, 2 of the sources said. 3 of the sources familiar with Schmidt's engagements said the work is influenced by his recent visits to Ukraine, where the billionaire has made inroads with government officials and military leaders over the past year. 2 of these individuals added that Sebastian Thrun, a co-founder of Google's Moonshot Lab, is involved with the effort. Forbes was unable to determine who other than Thrun is helping with the secretive project, when it commenced, and whether Schmidt is its sole backer. According to 2 sources, only a handful of people are working on the project, which Schmidt has largely managed to keep quiet due to geopolitical sensitivities. It's unclear whether a company has even been incorporated. Schmidt and Thrun declined to comment. Schmidt has opined extensively on the way drones are reshaping the war in Ukraine. In a July op-ed for the Wall Street Journal after returning from Kyiv, Schmidt wrote, quote, "The future of war will be dictated and waged by drones." Earlier this year, the Washington Post reported that Schmidt, alongside other investors, had committed $10 million to Ukrainian startup accelerator D3, which focuses on military tech but appears to be separate from this new venture. D3, which stands for Dare to Defend Democracy, will provide an initial $125,000 in funding to early-stage startups, as well as mentorship opportunities. Since leaving his chairman role at Google in 2017, Schmidt has poured much of his time and wealth into bridging the interests of Silicon Valley and the Pentagon through various advisory committees, think tanks, and his vast startup portfolio. In Washington, D.C., he's advocated for military agencies to accelerate their technology investments, particularly around AI, which he believes will play a key role in national security and China affairs. Schmidt previously served as chairman of the Defense Department's Innovation Board and commissioner of the National Security Commission on Artificial Intelligence, where he made formal recommendations on America's AI strategy. These government connections have given Schmidt a statesman-like halo in the U.S. and abroad, where he's leveraged his clout to meet with powerful military strategists. Schmidt's recent personal missions to Ukraine helped to inform his new drone project, according to 3 sources familiar with the billionaire's thinking. In particular, 2 of them said, he was interested in the country's use of drones and quadcopters to launch a counteroffensive against Russia. In September 2022, Andriy Yermak, head of the office of President Volodymyr Zelensky, announced that he and Schmidt had discussed, quote, technological solutions for expelling Russian forces from Ukraine. Sebastian Thrun, a veteran aeronautics founder and Schmidt's former Google colleague, makes sense as a collaborator. A robotics expert from Germany, he forged his first ties with Google in 2010, after co-founder Larry Page recruited him to build self-driving cars, which Thrun had already been working on at Stanford University. The initiative would eventually become Google parent Alphabet's Waymo subsidiary, and the lab morphed into Google X, the tech giant's skunkworks incubator for moonshot projects. In 2010, Thrun also founded the air taxi startup Kitty Hawk with backing from Page. However, that startup shut down last year. He also created the online education company Udacity in 2011 before leaving his role as a vice president and fellow at Google 3 years later. He recently announced a new AI company called Sage Labs. For full coverage, check out Sarah Emerson and Richard Nieva's piece on Forbes.com. This is Kieran Meadows from Forbes. Thanks for tuning in.